What I enjoy is really the whole A to Z process, creating something from scratch, turning into music, and then playing it in front of a lot of people, and then seeing their reaction and their feedback, and just designing everything from putting samples together, starting with the drum loop, and then adding instruments, seeing the whole creative process is, I'm really passionate about that, and that's what really motivates me to create tracks every day as much as possible. I do listen to a lot of music every month, and I try to see what's popular, what's trending, but also see what I don't hear, what's missing, and try to incorporate those elements or combination of elements into my production to try and keep it as interesting as possible and not use the same templates every time. Yeah, so I've noticed over the past few years, a lot of collectives have started working together and really focus on high quality events. Focusing on the sound system and the visuals and things like that. Because, in order for you to stand out nowadays, you got to add a little something. It's not just about inviting an artist and having them play at a venue, but let's try and create something a little bit extra to, invite people. That's it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a bit different. So I appreciate that. And the Montreal crowd, I've always said that it's one of the best crowds. They're always so passionate about music, and they're educated, and I'm hoping in the near future to work with one of those collectives on something unique. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Maybe in the near future we're going to be able to make that step, and hopefully something great comes out of it. So what I would recommend doing, do your research on who's playing after you. Listen to some sets as much as you can. Try to get a good vibe of the style of the artist if you don't know them, the vibe, the sound that they're going for, and see how you can integrate your own sound with theirs without it sounding too rough. The transition, you don't want the transition to be too rough. And if you're making your own music, if you're producing, I know it's tempting to try testing your own tracks, but honestly, if it doesn't fit, it just don't play it. I'm sure you'll get other opportunities to play it when you have better time slots. But if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. If you do end up making the music that fits the style, go ahead and play it. I think what's important is to really sort of, respect the flow of the night, because when you have such an important role, when people come in, you want to get them going. That's the most important. You want to get them going, because once they're going, then it's a bit easier to keep them there, keep them interested. So I think there's a lot of value as well, because if you're doing a good opening set, the artists you're opening for, if they like it, you're more likely to get invited again to open for them. Or even if the promoter liked it, he might invite you to do another opening set for another act, and that's how you get the ball rolling. So I think doing a good, proper opening set is extremely important. Yeah. I approach playing a set similar to how I approach music. For me, it's very important to have groove. It doesn't matter the energy, the energy of the track. It has to have some kind of groove, some rhythm, because that's what I think makes people dance. So I try to focus on that, and then depends on the length of the set. So for example, if I play a longer set, I like to start with, more slower, more groovy tracks, get people interested, and, develop into that, have highs and lows, and just, bring people on a journey. I know it's cheesy to say, but it's, that's the best way to describe it. And, same thing for if a set is only 2 hours or, 3 hours, I could still do that on a smaller scale. Yeah. And, at the end of the day, people want to they want to have fun. They come to have fun, to enjoy themselves, and you want to bring them, you want to guide them to places they want to go, and also places that they didn't know they wanted to go. So it's about striking a good balance between the expected and unexpected. And I think that's the aim every time I try to play a DJ set, to keep that balance. Like I said, groove to me is very important. Rhythm, having a good vibe in music, and I do listen to a lot of music. So I really try and come up with things that are different, but that people could still relate to. And if I make something and people go like, oh, I like this combination, I've never heard that before, it's interesting, and I think I've reached that objective at that point. But I think it's easier to get sucked into a template. Sometimes you have a track that works well and you're like, let me try and make another one, but I feel like you're not really using your creative mind to its full potential. And I think every time, for me, every time I make something, I finish a track, I start from scratch, no templates, and I really try to make something different than the other. As long as it has grooves and rhythm, to me, that's what's important. And the rest, whatever comes to mind.